Back in November of 2007, a modder by the name of Mentor decided to start working on a single-player mod for Half-Life 2. He recruited 6 members of the community to help him out. It had been over 8 years since the release of Opposing Force. They got tired of waiting for a sequel and decided to make one themselves. That is how the Opposing Force 2 mod was born. Mentor and his team decided to start working on the story, gameplay, and even maps. By 2008, the mod's concept was finished. In March of 2008, the team decided it would be a good idea to announce the mod on ModDB. The screenshots might not look that impressive right now, but trust me, for 2008, this was peak. In the next few months, the team posted a couple of updates, answering questions from the community, and even announcing a multiplayer mode. So beautiful. Eyes bleeding, can't look away. If your eyes are bleeding, you should go to a doctor, idiot. From April all the way to June, they continued sharing screenshots and even videos from time to time. June came around and Mentor posted another blog post, promising to release a playable Barnacle Grapple tech demo by the end of July. 3 weeks later, Mentor posted another update, confirming the Barnacle tech demo would be released on July 17th. He also showcased other things the team was working on, including the Barnacle Grapple. This is so random, so I wonder if there are any Combine women and you get it on with them. LOL. Would be funny to see in a Half-Life 2 mod. A bit random though. On July 5th, Mentor posted another update confirming a list of over 20 weapons that would be in the mod. 12 days later, on July 17th, it was time to release the tech demo that had been promised back in June. Except nothing happened. There was no tech demo. 9 days later, Mentor posted another update talking about 7 different zombie variations that would be in Opposing Force 2. That's great, but where exactly is the tech demo and what exactly happened? The community was not really bothered by this. Even though there was no tech demo, the mod team still made sure to showcase things like the new Snark and Sniper models, a security guard zombie, a rat, and even some gameplay screenshots. Moving on to August, we got more map screenshots and a first look at the Prowler enemy that had been teased back in June. This enemy never ended up being used in the mod. Anyway, September was another good month. They showcased an early version of the G-Man speech from Opposing Force remade in the Source engine, a video of a Gargantua breaking some stuff, pretty much confirming he would be in the mod, and a higher quality Prowler model. This looked like something out of Halo 3. October was also pretty interesting. It was revealed that Adrian Shepard would be going to City 14, and we even got our first look at the Displacer cannon. Then it was time for November, which marked the first anniversary of the mod. We got our first real look at the game, and it was looking really good. The only things missing from the footage were the new enemies and weapons they had promised. All we got to see were a couple of reskins of 2 weapons and a bow squid. But judging by the screenshots posted alongside the videos, it was safe to assume everything was still being worked on. There was also some other interesting stuff released with the video, like a model of what looked to be a TOW cannon, 3 new weapons, and some other stuff. December came around and they decided to announce another new enemy. And they also talked about releasing a demo in 2009, which would apparently include the first 4 chapters of the mod. At this point, the team ran into a big problem. All of the assets somehow got leaked to the public, which led to everyone panicking. Fortunately for them, the leaked content was deleted in time and development continued as normal. In fact, this only made them stronger. By January of 2009, the development team consisted of over 28 people. The project was growing, and so were everyone's expectations. Mentor mentioned that Opposing Force 2 would have over 6 to maybe even 10 hours of gameplay, 14 different chapters, and that it would be released by July of 2010. He also promised to release a playable demo by the end of August of 2009. Not much was shown from February to April, just a couple of really cool images. So let's move on. Something was happening behind the scenes around this time. The mod unfortunately got leaked again, and this time it would prove to be devastating. Developer documents, the storyline, concepts, maps, code, it was all out there for everyone to download. All of this led to some developers quitting and others being kicked out of the team, which turned out to be both a curse and a blessing at the same time. Yes, everything getting leaked meant the story had to be rewritten, which could take a long time. However, the leak also brought some more more attention to the mod, which led to new people joining the team. Then a trailer dropped out of nowhere. The difference between this one and the one released in November was pretty significant, and for some reason another trailer dropped in May. It focused on showcasing the environments using some very 2009 looking cinematic shots. I don't really understand why they would need to publish 2 trailers for a mod that was still like 14 months away from release, but whatever. Next we have the June blog post, which just happened to be another Q&A. It revealed that Opposing Force 2 would take place after the 7-hour war, and it would follow Adrian Shepard trying to close the portal rift between Earth and the Combine overworld. The rest of the Q&A was about multiplayer. 2 months later, the developers revealed that Crossfire had been remade again, nuked it for some reason, and then showcased a remake of 2 Fort, a map from Team Fortress 2. The end of August came around, and once again, even though it was promised, no demo was released. The worst part is that this time, instead of finally admitting that putting deadlines on mods developed only in people's free time is not a good idea, and instead of maybe apologizing to the community for making false promises again, the dev team said nothing. September came around and all the community got were 3 more screenshots followed by another month of silence. Then in October something finally happened. A new blog post. Opposing Force 2 developer interview 2. We are delaying the multiplayer release again to November 21st. November 30th, 2009. Blah 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 blah. As much as it saddens us to say, there will be no demo. If we had gone ahead with releasing the demo, not only would have there been problems, but the single player process would have been drastically hindered. People were starting to question the entire situation. If you cannot meet deadlines, why announce so many demos in the first place? Apart from that, all we got were more screenshots and another look at the Barnacle grapple. Let's again talk about what was going on behind the scenes, because I think it's important. Apparently, many people on the developer team were unhappy with how development was going and decided to quit. What used to be a team of 25 people was left with only 8. From this point on, we would see far fewer updates. We proudly present the first official update of 2010. Multiplayer in Opposing Force 2 has ceased. However, this is not bad news. What? They then went on to announce another multiplayer game called Phoenix Strike, which would apparently be developed by 2 different dev teams at the same time. Spoiler, that also went nowhere. Other than that, we got 2 weapon renders, a sick poster of a Combine soldier, and a new Bull Squid model. From April to December, most of what we saw were in-game screenshots, with only a few exceptions here and there. Now it's time for 2011. This year started off pretty hot. More map screenshots, weapon models, concept art, and most importantly, a demo tease. And this time they would finally deliver. The Stadium demo was released. Hopefully it would have been worth the wait. By the way, if you want to play it, follow these instructions. Otherwise,
you put that there.
The demo comes with 3 maps: Stadium, Deadlock Conflict Demo, and Crossfire. Stadium mostly works as a weapon/NPC test map and even has a Michael Bay mode, which triggers a bunch of explosions. I would say the most interesting thing to do here is to test the new NPCs. First are the Hound Guys, which act pretty much exactly like in Half-Life 1. Next we have the Pit Drones, which look good but unfortunately have really bad AI. All they can do is shoot at you and that's pretty much it. It's really easy to dodge their bullets or whatever these things are. Then there is the Bull Squid, which seems to be inspired by the Half-Life 1 alpha design. And lastly, the enemy that was later copy-pasted into Half-Life 2 Overcharged, the Charger. All the Chargers do is charge at the player, which, I mean, you know what? That's their name, I'm not gonna complain, but at the end of the day, they're kind of exactly what the Endlion Guards are, so it's pretty much the exact same enemy, except it's a bit more boring. Seeing all of the NPCs in action at the same time is also pretty fun. If you're not impressed by this, please again remember that this demo came out in 2011. Putting new enemies into a mod was not an easy task. Alright, now the weapons. We have the wrench, the knife, a combined laser rifle that shoots lasers that can bounce off the walls, a Glock, revolver, M40 sniper rifle, MP5 EOD, M16, shotgun, AR-10, 2, a vortex gun that works like the cut hotwire thing from Half-Life 2 Episode 1, grenades, and the RPG. Unfortunately, the animations for some of these weapons are very bad, especially the M16 and the M40, and the art style does not seem consistent, which kind of sucks, but that's fine because this is only a tech demo. So far, it's not the most groundbreaking demo ever, but we still have to play through Deadlock Conflict. Right off the bat, yeah, this looks good. You walk through a forest, put some batteries in a place to open a door, kill some combined soldiers, you put that there, destroy a gunship, and that's it. Then it just ends. People who waited 2 years for this were probably very disappointed. The Crossfire remake was also included. It looks awesome, but I mean, it's a multiplayer map, so what exactly am I supposed to do here? Now, moving on to February, Mentor showcased this very weird weapon model, a remake of the pit worm from the original game, which in my opinion is very badass, a synth soldier model, and what looks to be like the outside area of Black Mesa. Oh, and some new particle effects for the laser weapon. In March and April, we got some more photos of the city, a Kingpin model, and another new enemy called the Mortar Synth. Again, even though development was taking a long time, everything was looking damn good. Now, I have to be honest, 2011 was a very boring year. We mostly only saw city screenshots, which looked great, don't get me wrong, but the fact that not many other environments were showcased was pretty concerning. Here is Adrian Shepard, by the way. Moving on to May, one of the developers uploaded a 5-minute long gameplay video of the City 14 rooftop section on YouTube. It looked dark and gritty. People loved it. 1 year later, the mod was starting to look extremely good. But again, most of what we saw was just a couple of screenshots of the city chapter. In June of 2012, Mentor posted an update explaining what happened in the last year, and yeah, the passion was starting to kind of go away. Mentor was busy playing in a band, and the other members were busy working on other projects. It is pretty clear that the only reason they were still working on this mod is because of the promises they made to the community, and not because they were excited to work on it. Mentor continued posting updates until March of 2013, but then silence. At this point, pretty much every single member of the team stopped working on the mod. Burnout got to them and the passion was gone. Another year later, in June of 2014, Mentor posted one last update where he finally announced that Opposing Force 2 was cancelled and that all of the source files would be uploaded on GitHub in case any members of the community want to continue their work. Someone did end up continuing their work, and I will talk about it, but first, let me showcase a couple of things I found in the source files. Like, for example, these voice lines by none other than Russ Scott.
After all this, we're gonna make our livers our bitches, and I'm serious this time. As it happens, I was in the mission to Black Mesa myself, and Shepard? Adrian Shepard? I still owe this guy a bar and all the booze in it. If it weren't for him, half of New Mexico would be floating in the middle of some alien parallel dimension. Shepard, you got one shot at the metal tower. Shepard, get those M16 turrets over there and lay them over the fronts. After getting through all that, you should change your middle name to Goddamn. He's a living frickin' legend. Hell yeah. Aha, there's the HECU I've heard so much about. Just like the old days, eh, Shepard? Go down the manhole and we'll catch up. Damn right we do. Shepard, we don't have any idea what the hell this thing is, but it's big and it's crapping out gunships and dropships by the baker's dozen. We need it gone yesterday.
And the script for the intro G-Man speech, and some dialogue between Otis and a scientist. In 2018, a team going by the name of Naffenhülle released Opposing Force 2 Lost, a mod that attempted to revive the original Opposing Force 2 and turn it into a playable experience. It ended up being deleted for having illegal content or something like that, but I still found a playable version on ModDB. Was it any good? Time to find out. The main menu seems to be an in-game screenshot, but that's not important. What is important is that this mod has 3 playable chapters, and yet somehow the file size is 11.5 gigabytes. The reason for that is because Opposing Force 2 Lost uses cinematic mod assets. That's right, even though the original version looked completely fine, whoever worked on this had the idea of using cinematic mod lighting, vegetation, camera swinging, and even more. You will see all of that in action very soon. But first we start with a cutscene. A lot of text appears on the screen, but nobody will ever read it. We see a charger eating something hunting, a headcrab in a vent, some HECU soldiers fighting antlions, a gargantua fighting an unstoppable force, the G-Man staring at a combine screen, a zoom in into a ladder, and yeah, so we're in a forest. And look at that, an invisible wall. Adrian picks up a pipe wrench and goes down the road feeling bad. I'm not really sure what the goal of this part is. Some antlion guard glitches out, then some combine soldiers appear out of nowhere and get ambushed by a bunch of antlions. We run away and then destroy a combine thing with a rocket launcher. I'm not really sure if I love or hate the vegetation, but in my opinion it's kind of annoying and it makes the enemies extremely difficult to be seen. We enter a building, the sun is leaking, and some more combine soldiers ambush us. This is where the cinematic mod lighting really showcases just how bad it is. You can barely see anything. Most of this next map is just a walking simulator with a gunship boss battle and some more combine action. 15 minutes in and I was already starting to get bored. Listen, the visuals are great, but other than that, there's not much to talk about here. There's nothing going on. Next is a puzzle, or at least that is what my idea was. This generator obviously needed to be activated, so I went looking for a battery. But nope. All the player has to do here is break some wood and then press a button to open a gate. Loading into the next map. What is going on here? Is that supposed to be Adrian Shepard? Why is there a random radiation hazard cinematic shot in the middle of that? This part really pissed me off. It makes absolutely no sense for Adrian Shepard to die hitting a wall at such a slow speed. And no, there is no way to stop moving. This is what the developers intended. They intended for the player to just die over and over again until they figure out how to actually move while the water just pushes them. It's just a bunch of nonsense. We then find ourselves in a familiar place. The section that was playable in the 2011 demo, Deadlock Conflict. It's pretty much the same as it was in the demo, except this time the grass is bigger, everything is darker, it's impossible to see any enemies, and everyone deals like 5 million HP. Basically, it's a worse version of the demo that was released 7 years prior. We then get a cutscene from Portal 1 and it just keeps looping over and over again? Like, what? Then the next map just loads in. Another puzzle. Open door, put something in door, press button, that's it. The rest of the map barely has any enemies. All of this feels like going through an area that was already explored by someone else. About 50 fast zombies ambush us, a zombie starts farting and dies, get to whatever this place is supposed to be and... electric antlions. Not sure why they're electric and what this means, but yeah. What the hell was even that? Then another cutscene. This time it's on a map that we will play on in the next 5 seconds. The first couple of minutes of this are just me walking around in an apartment building trying to open some doors. So let's move on past that and let's get to the interesting part. The sun is shining today. Next we have a rooftop section where the player has to destroy this thing to get to the next building, do some parkour and get another cutscene. That was life-changing. Okay, next map I guess. There is definitely more action here, but playing through it is just not fun. Maybe my mod taste is not built for this. I'm sorry, it looks good, but the gameplay just sucks. This part in particular made me lose my mind. The place is so big, it's impossible to tell where the mod even wants the player to go. So you will just end up getting lost and having to watch a YouTube video just to see what to do, only to find out the way to progress is to get here and then the next map will just just load in. Speaking of that, the next map is somehow even worse. The mod tried really hard to teach the player that putting batteries here can enable or disable a combine wall. It's a good puzzle. The problem with it is that it's not the way to get to the next part. Even though this combine wall literally shows you it needs a battery to be opened, putting a battery here does nothing. Instead, what you have to do is throw a grenade over this random wood wall and it will blow up. Come on. I'm sorry, but my experience playing this was not good. I kept trying to justify this being good because of the good visuals, but not even that can help it. Everything is just way too confusing. The gameplay sucks and the level design is just atrocious. It feels like playing through Gary's mod maps, not through a campaign. This mod even copy-pasted a map from Half-Life 2 Episode 2 and thought that nobody would notice. Then of course there were even more pointless cinematic cutscenes of trees, and it just ended after Adrian Shepard decided to go to Crossfire and nuke it. So yeah, would not recommend playing through this, it kind of sucks. Instead, maybe wait for Opposing 2 Chaos Theory. No click, what's that? Well, you see, the story is not over yet. 2 years after the release of Opposing Force 2 Lost, another team decided to give this another go. In 2023, John Halo 2 announced Opposing Force 2 Urban Chaos was now in better hands. 6 months later, in September of 2023, John Halo 2 posted even more screenshots and oh my god, this is gorgeous. In April of 2024, John Halo 2 came back with another announcement, showcasing a bunch of assets and even announcing a late 2024 demo release. But then, silence. Deja vu. In November of 2024, John Halo 2 came back and announced the demo will be postponed until 2025. He also showcased more models and map screenshots which honestly look great. In January of 2025, John Halo 2 returned one last time to announce the mod's name being changed due to some copyright problems. So now it's not, Urban Chaos anymore, it's Chaos Theory. That was the last real update we got for the mod. So yeah, I'm not trying to discourage anyone, especially because all of the people who are working on this are doing it in their own free time for free, but unfortunately the development of this new and improved version of Opposing Force 2 seems to be looking exactly like it was looking longer than a decade ago. I mean, we get blog posts, we get demo announcements every single year, so I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, but this mod has been in development for almost 2 decades. Obviously not, the whole time, but still, it's almost 2 decades. Just to put it in perspective, when this started being developed, Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was less than 2 months old, and Black Mesa looked like this. Will this mod ever be released? I have no idea, but if it does, then maybe Adrian Shepard can finally get some closure and we can finally move on. Bon voyage and best of luck to the Chaos Theory team. You will need it.